Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome to the weekly NBA preview review show that we do on a weekly basis. If you don't know, we do NBA shows on a Monday. On so we talked about what's been going on in the NBA ever since the start. We've done weekly shows, and we always talk about how our teams have done weekly. And this week we've got we can talk about the NBA Cup review, and then we have the Christmas Day games coming up as well. So that's gonna be interesting. So we'll definitely talk about that. Joining me, obviously, always good as always to see you, man. King, please same, bro. Every week.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Excited to talk about NBA. The NBA Cup final was actually a really good game.
Mm.
A lot of things I got from that game. My team over the week, Sixers, mixed bag. Obviously, bad loss to Cleveland. Back-to-back games with Charlotte wins. So obviously McCain out for the season. So speedy recovery for him. Hopefully everything's good with his recovery from that injury because it was a bad one. And yeah, just excited to talk about the basketball and more. Been really getting into it um over this period and can't wait for the Christmas games. Obviously, our two teams are facing each other, so we're going to talk about that and more.
100%. I would have to talk about more about it in depth. People make sure you liking the video and subscribe. I left King's link in the description on the title of the video, so make sure you go check that one out. And yeah, obviously I do my Premier League review shows on a Monday, but the thing is I did it last night straight off the bat after the games ended, so we don't have to get into it much. I did it with Prime last night, so yeah. The game that we already spoke about, the games we spoke about Man United, the issues with Man United, so make sure you go check that out if you haven't done so already. And yeah, we'll get started right away. So obviously, the NBA Cup happened last week. The final happened. Talk us through it because you know what, it is apparently a very, very interesting game. And you called the Bucks to win the championship, and you called it the Bucks would win. I said OKC would win. Unfortunately, got that one wrong. Um, but the Bucks have definitely made a turnaround and definitely have look a lot better than the last few weeks, and they've definitely turned the season around in the sense now they've started get us through. Excuse me, can't even talk. Sorry for the people. Get a few string of wins together. That's what I was trying to say. A few string of wins together, and then the Milwaukee Bucks are back in the hunt for a top 5, top 4 finish in the East. So definitely that'll get interesting. And then now they've won the NBA Cup, so you can clearly tell that they've won that they've kind of turned the season around. But King, obviously, you said the games were very interesting last week. Definitely, it's you can kick us off with that, bro. You can kick us off with that because obviously you mentioned that it was a very interesting very interesting game, and I want you to elaborate on that.
Yeah, because going into it, obviously the OKC have been one of the best teams in the league, and the Bucks have been a mixed bag in the East. But I think it was a mismatch of styles. I think if you look at the Bucks defensively, they've never been that great, but they had a great performance on that game. And I think they profited off the back of Giannis and Dame Lillard, two experienced superstars, showing up and showing out in that game. Obviously, for OKC, they have Shy, but um, I don't think he was enough to get the job done and needed more from his supporting staff. And I think for me, from the minute one where I saw Giannis go hard in the paint, bodying people, getting easy looks inside, I think it was going to always be a long day for OKC because I don't think they had anyone that could compete with him on that level, and I think they struggled to stop Giannis. And if you can't stop Giannis, then obviously the likes of Dame Lillard and the other guys that the Bucks have can heat up as well. And I think when you have a guy like Giannis who is a man that's got a chip, a man's got a chip on his shoulder, a man who's is a winner. Everything about him is win, all he wants to do is win. It showed in that match type that OKC are still a very young team, and that the Bucks still have that championship winning DNA, that winning experience, and I think that got them through that game. And it makes sense because if you look at the first two NBA Cup winners, you have LeBron and then you have Giannis. You have two guys who are obsessed with winning. So it makes sense that teams that take this seriously are teams with guys that are led by guys that just want to win, no matter what competition it is. And I think it showed in the performance. I think OKC were very poor on the free ball, and I think they needed to have a good night for them to win. In the preview, Augustio said that they needed Shea to get 40, and I don't think he came anywhere near close. So offensively, I think OKC didn't do enough to match the Bucks, and the Bucks just dominated inside and outside the paint. And under the role of Giannis, I think it was a comprehensive win from start to finish. I don't think there was any point where I felt OKC was gonna come back or had a chance. Even though it was no, it wasn't a close game. It just it felt like a dominating performance from the Bucks, and it felt kind of like a push start to their season, especially considering that they haven't been that great in the East. There's been a lot of questions around Doc Rivers, and I think it's a culmination of you're seeing the partnership of Giannis and Lillard becoming more and more, I would say, kind of cohesive in the sense of they're working better together. As you can see, they're playing more together. They're getting better. They're understanding each other's game, and that takes time. And I think it's going to be a scary sight going into the later parts of the seasons and into the playoffs. They're going to be a team that a lot of people in the East are going to have to be wary about, and I think they're probably going to be one of the only few teams that can compete with the Celtics in terms of probably not beat them in a game of seven series, but give them some issues, especially if Dame Dollar and Giannis get hot, and they showed that against OKC. So yeah, that's what I think.
Now you make good points there. Obviously, I didn't watch the NBA Cup because it's so early in the morning. I watched a bit of it, and then obviously I dozed off because, man, it's when you watch the NBA over here in Asia, trust me, it's very very hard. The only times when I watch the games is like when I watch my team play, and I'm like, I'm so invested in it. I just can't doze off. It's just when I watch other teams, I'm like, I miss watching my own team. It's a feeling of I want to see my own team play. So I kind of get it in the sense that that the Bucks just sort of dominate because I think let's be honest, it's a one-off game at the end of the day. It's not like it's a regular season game, but this game kind of means something to both teams, and obviously the Bucks like for me, like I said, they've turned their season around, and if you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, right, they're actually the second best team record-wise in the league right now. The Celtics have fallen to third, but if you actually look at it from what you call from an opponent's standpoint, yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder are just like, for me, if you actually watch them, they're carried by SGA. They're heavily carried by SGA. They're heavily reliant on SGA. They cannot afford to lose that guy. If they lose him, they're in trouble. They're pretty much in trouble. And trust me, SGA is a very, very good player. Where I rank him does not have anything to do with what I'm trying to say about him here. What I'm trying to say about SGA is he's so important to Oklahoma City. It's just like, if they lose him, they're finished. Well, not finished in the sense of they don't have a chance anymore, but they're gonna struggle. But yeah, and then you have the Bucks just. You have Giannis, you have Dame linking up with each other. You got Middleton back as well. Although, albeit they don't really need him, as crazy as it sounds, I don't think they need Middleton. They've got Lopez, they've got Bobby Portis, who's on good form right now as well, and yeah, can't really say much about the Bucks. I mean, they've improved. They look good now, and the season's definitely turned around, and they'll definitely be in the hunt for a top spot in the East. But I wouldn't say they'll catch up to Celtics or Cleveland. I just think that they'll definitely be a top 4, top 3 team in the East, definitely. But it just depends on what Doc Rivers can implement with the Bucks going forward, because we've seen their demise. We've seen the way the Bucks have dealt in the past situations. They've not looked amazing on the eye. They had to implement a proper chemistry with amongst the team, amongst Dame and Giannis needs to have a proper chemistry together. And obviously, as we speak, they've just won the NBA Cup, and last week they've given other teams a rest because no other team really played last week. It was all like, and you know how the NBA Cup works. Like when you play NBA Cup, right, then there's more rest for us than the teams that are competing in the competition, because they don't really compete in the regular season for like days apart. Like it's days apart when you watch them actually compete, like stuff like that. But yeah, is what it is. But any more words to say about the Cup? Any more words to say on the game, or any more words to say on the two teams, SGA and Oklahoma City? You got more thoughts?
No, I just think it was a bad matchup for them. I think they couldn't compete with the size of the Bucks. And yeah, SGA needed to do more. I mean, he did still get a decent amount of points, but he needed to have a blowout game where he's hitting 35, 40, maybe even 45 points for them to have a stand a chance, because I think he's their most elite scorer, but they don't really have there's not really someone you look on their team and say there's the two guy. So when you take a one-off game and you look at the talent on both teams, you're looking at Dame and Giannis, and you can easily say that the Bucks have two of the best players on the court in terms of the starting fives. Maybe you put SGA above Dame. Either way, here nor there, depending on what you think personally. But it makes it very difficult that you don't really have guys that you can say are gonna get you 20, 20, 20, 25, like week in, week out. You're not gonna rely on these guys. So I think defensively, the Bucks stopped them, and then offensively, I think they just couldn't handle. And I think it was just a physical game. And I think the Bucks just dominated really. Under the leadership of Giannis, they dominated. So that's all I gotta say.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. Definitely big up, Santa. Big up, bro. Big up, man. Big up. Yeah. I mean, the Bucks are very, very heavily relying on Giannis as well. Like, if they don't have him, then for me, I just think tough going forward. It's just you see what happened when they lost Giannis last year. They completely, like, Dame can't carry this team alone, so they need Giannis. Giannis is very, very, very important for that team. In terms of OKC, they've not made it far. They've not made it far in the playoffs before. Hold on. So sorry about that, mate. So sorry about that. I just want to continue what I was saying. No, I think you're on mute, bro. I can't really hear you. Your mic's on mute, I think.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that Giannis and OKC just. Yeah, you're right about the matchup as well. You're right about how these two teams find each other. I think the OKC also really missed Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is so important to that team, and I reckon that they can definitely. I think they'll make the NBA Finals if they can keep SGA healthy, and then But at the same time, maybe experience might be a little bit off the charts, because SGA has never played in a conference final, and he's also never really made it as far in the playoffs. I think he made it to the semifinals. That's about it, really. but the NBA Cup should maybe give him a bit of like a boost, and maybe give him a bit of like give him a bit of a sense of what the NBA playoffs could be like come May or June. So yeah, but yeah, moving on. We'll talk about we'll definitely talk about the Christmas games. We'll talk about this these few games coming up. So Christmas Day games that are coming up. We definitely have a really good day. Always full of exciting fixtures. Always full of festive. Festive period. Festive. Excuse me. I can't even talk right now, man. I'm so deflated from yesterday's Man United result by other people. So excuse me if I talk. I'm just still really pissed off. Yeah. So what I was gonna say was we have so many really good fixtures coming up. We've got the Knicks against the Spurs. We've got Dallas against the Timberwolves. We've got Celtics, Sixers. Obviously, our two teams. Golden State versus the Lakers. Suns against Nuggets, which is they're very interesting matchups. Very very interesting games, and I'll get started on this one. We'll talk about the Knicks against the Spurs. Not really much to say, to be honest with you. I mean, the Knicks are very on and off. I think you could maybe look at they're the best. They're the third best team in the East. But at the same time, if you look at their record, right, it's not as amazing, but still, like people say the Knicks, the way people kind of predicted the Knicks to go this season, they kind of said that they'd be top of the East. People on about like they were gonna get top of the East or something. I'm like, they weren't gonna finish above Boston. It just depends on what they can do in the playoffs now, because they got Karl-Anthony Towns from the Timberwolves, which is for me a very 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 good a very very good acquisition. But at the same time, it's about how he and Brunson can do how he and Brunson pan out in the playoffs. So definitely that's interesting. Obviously, and then you've got the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama. I mean, is he fit for tomorrow's game? I'm not sure. I'm not sure who has him in our fantasy league, but is he fit for tomorrow or something?
Let me check.
Is he fit for tomorrow? Because then if he is, he could give the Knicks a game. He can definitely give the Knicks a game.
I think he is. Let me double check though. No. Yeah, he's fit. He's healthy.
Okay, so it'll definitely be a good game, and it's in New York. You know how Christmas is like in New York. I think I'm just gonna go with the Knicks win. I'll just go straight up and say the Knicks are gonna win tomorrow. What are we saying?
Yeah, for Christmas, I think the New York Knicks have it. I think they have too much talent. If you think about it, because they've got Jalen Brunson, they've got Cat, and then you have Josh Hart. Then you also got OG. You also got Mikal Bridges. I just think that their squad is too deep. Say that again.
DiVincenzo.
Yeah, DiVincenzo. So I think, like, even their second unit is very deep. So I think the Knicks are a team that can hit you in many different ways. So I think the Cat trade is one that over time they're going to get better and better with him in the squad. He adds extra height that they didn't have in previous seasons as well. And he's a kind of the deterrent to Wembanyama as well. So you look at it, I think they just have too much for the Spurs for me.
No,
I think they can give a match for most teams. I think so. I would say in terms of a Christmas game at home, yeah, they would beat the Spurs. I still think Wemby will show up and show out, but I just think him alone isn't enough. I think the Spurs are still a team that are probably maybe two, maybe 3 seasons away from actually being the team that Wemby needs them to be, making maybe a couple trades, a couple picks, and they may build around him. But for now, I think the New York Knicks are just too good for them.
And obviously last year, we had the Celtics Lakers in on Christmas Day, which was very, very, very good for me because obviously the Celtics ended up winning the game. So all the Christmas fixtures are good. We had the Bucks 2 years ago, and yeah, I mean, what more could I really ask for? I mean, the Celtics beating the Lakers on Christmas Day to only get a good Christmas wish and get banner number 18 months down the line. So I can only ask for better. But yeah, obviously, next game we're going to talk about is Dallas versus Timberwolves. This is an interesting one, though, because Timberwolves have not looked as amazing this season. And Dallas Mavericks, let me look at where they are in the standings, excuse me. Dallas are just, Dallas are fourth right now. And the Timberwolves are just not the same Timberwolves as we talked about last year. Them trading away Karl-Anthony Towns has really kind of messed up the team in a way, in my opinion. Really kind of messed up the team in a way. And if you actually look at the way that the Timberwolves are playing, they're so reliant on Anthony Edwards to do something for them. They're so reliant on Ant to do something for them. Obviously, they're still, they're still a decent team. They're still a scary team to play against. They got players like Nasri. They got players like who else they got? Cat left. Who do they have? They have Ant. They have who's the other player that they have? Can't remember. But regardless, like they still have a good team. They have a good team. They have a decent team. But going up against Dallas on the road in Dallas, I think I'm just gonna go straight out with my prediction on this one. Tough game, but I'm gonna go with the Dallas Mavericks win at home because I just think that Dallas, if Luka plays, they might have too much for the Timberwolves on the day. Timberwolves have not looked amazing this season. They've not been impressive, but at the same time, if you actually look at the way they've been playing, like they can have close games, but the record speaks for itself. I mean, the record just speaks for itself. I think they're what they're just slightly above 500. So that just means that they're slightly over half. They're 14-13 on the season. So it just kind of tells you that in games like this is a must win for the Timberwolves. This is, and if they can get a win on the road in Dallas, that's a massive win. That's a massive win. If you go on the road to Dallas and win, that's a massive win against the top 4 seed in the West right now. That's definitely a massive win. But I'm just gonna go with Dallas Mavericks to win because I just think Dallas might be a bit too much for them at home, and especially with the quality that Dallas have. Sorry, excuse me. Especially with the quality that Dallas Mavericks have, I reckon that they'll win the game. I think they'll send the Timberwolves home. But what are you saying? I'm gonna go with the Dallas Mavericks to win this game.
It depends if Luka's back or not. If Luka's back, then
Even if Luka's not back, because Kyrie's on really good. Kyrie's gonna be on good form. Kyrie's gonna start scoring points.
Yeah, but I think with Luka, you even add more firepower to it. To me,
Yeah,
with
of
Luka,
course.
it becomes a blowout. Without Luka, it becomes more of a tight contest. Then you can kind of think of, okay, it can go either way because then you have similar level of talent. Because you on one side you've got Kyrie, on the other side you have Edwards. Got Randall with the Minnesota now. And then on Dallas you've got Clay and stuff like that. So it will be a very close game if let's say Luke is out of it. It'll make it a more closer game, but I still think Dallas will be too much for Minnesota. I think Minnesota should be. I think they're gonna go towards becoming a lottery team. I think. I think they should. I think they should tank, in my opinion, and try and get some better picks.
I wouldn't because they've got that. They had a really good season last year. There's no point for them to tank right now. There's no point because they can still definitely make the playoffs and be a threat. It's just it depends on what they bring in because don't forget there's still gonna be some trades at the trade deadline. There's gonna be a lot of teams making trades at the trade deadline, and obviously you can there'll definitely be some blockbuster trades. I expect the Timberwolves to be active. I expect them to be active. Definitely, because bro, imagine trading away Karl-Anthony Towns, right? Especially when you just made the conference finals and nearly making the NBA finals. Like, I think that's poor from the front office. Very, very poor. But what you're saying, I'm just gonna go with the Dallas win. And continue what you're saying, bro.
No, I still think a Dallas win, but I just think because of the trade that they made for Cat, I don't think they're gonna get similar level quality back. So I don't see them really be. I see them if they do playoffs. I think maybe a play-in or playoff team. They go out in the first round. I don't think they go further than that. In the Western Conference, especially because there's so much talent out there. But the office just made a business decision. I think they didn't want to pay Cat, so they decided to move him on, which I think has affected their team, and you can see it that this season they are very a weaker team without him. Um, I didn't really like the move they made to bring in Rudy Gobert as well. Defensively solid, but offensively he doesn't really offer you much. So I think Dallas are just gonna be the, are gonna just win it, especially because they're at home.
Mm,
Um, and I like the fact that like Kyrie's balling out at the moment. So I think
yeah.
yeah, just Dallas just if they have Luca, then it's gonna be a blowout. But if they
Mm.
don't, then it'll be a close tie.
No, I hear that. I hear that. Next up, we'll preview our teams last because that one's like our what do you call but we support both the teams, so we'll preview that one last. Golden State versus the Lakers. That's going to be a good game. The Warriors versus the Lakers it's always going to be a good game, especially in San Francisco on Christmas Day. I mean, Curry is still balling out. Obviously, he had that horrific game that the other day with 2 points and just and the Warriors got blown out by the Memphis Grizzlies, like a 51-point blowout loss, which is not great. Like, I mean, the Warriors started the year very, very well. They started the season very, very well. It's just they're sort of kind of tailed off. It's sort of kind of just like they were once like a top 3, top 2 team in the West, and then just completely tailed off. Obviously, the season's still long, and they definitely could still make the playoffs and everything. They're 7th right now with 15-12 record. What are you saying with this game? Because I mean, the Lakers are very on and off team as well. Like LeBron, AD, you just don't know when they're gonna go missing. You don't know when they're gonna have a horrible game, because the Lakers have had horrible games, and the past 3 games that they've had, they've won at least what you call they won, I think, the last 3 games against Sacramento Kings back to back. I didn't expect them to win against Sacramento Kings back to back. I kind of lied because I thought the Sacramento Kings would have the number, as they always do. But the Lakers finally got a win streak together, like a 3-game win streak together, and then they ended up winning. They also ended up beating the Memphis Grizzlies at home by 6 points, which is a very impressive win. I can't lie, it is, because Memphis Grizzlies are a very, very good team. I have said this on many, many times on the channel. I've said many, many times that the Memphis Grizzlies, when they're healthy, are one of the best teams in the NBA, or one of the best teams in the West per se, because look at Ja Morant, look at Jaren Jackson Jr., look at Desmond Bain, look at Marcus Smart. You've got players like Steven. I don't know if Steven Adams is still there. I don't know. I don't know if he's fit. But then you've also got Brandon Clark. You've also got players like who else do they have? Can't remember who they have. But still, like, you actually look at the team that they have. Like Ja Morant. Memphis Grizzlies are a solid team when healthy. Last year, they unfortunately fell because they had too many injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a good game. Let's talk about it first before we give our predictions, because it's always back and forth between the Warriors and the Lakers, isn't it? It's always back and forth, always back and forth. But what are you saying, bro? Because yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is because obviously the Warriors just had a decent win against the Timberwolves. Curry showed out, so I think against the Lakers is a thing of Curry has to show up. He has to have one of those games for him to compete with them. Because I think for me, when I look at the overall squads, I think Lakers are just slightly better in terms of overall package. So for me, I think it's going to be interesting to see that that game pan out. It's kind of weird because you look at Curry and LeBron, and you will look at two guys that were competing for titles at one point, season after season, to where they are now, where they're in middling Western Conference teams, and they're at a
Yeah,
lower level. There's no more Splash Bros in the Warriors. Uh, LeBron's in LA, and he's won his title, the bubble title, but outside of that, LA haven't really done much. So it's a
they've
very
done, they've done,
interesting matchup.
they've done fuck all, mate.
Exactly. So it's a very interesting time for both teams. I think you have two guys that are probably just coming towards the end of their careers. I don't know
Mm,
how many more years you're going to see of those two guys, so we just kind of hope it carries on for more. But it's an interesting one. I just give the edge to the Lakers in that in regards to, I just think they have better talent. You know, you've got the likes of Austin Reeves. If AD's available, he's solid. LeBron there as well. So I just think they have more. They have more
but
weapons compared to the Warriors, and I
by the
think.
way, I need to. Yeah, sorry. Continue what you're saying first. Continue what you're saying first.
Oh no, that's well, that's what I was going to finish on. I just think they have more weapons compared to the Warriors.
Austin Reeves or Peyton Pritchard?
That's a tough one.
I'm Peyton Pritchard, bro. You know, because I watch him on a weekly basis. I watch Austin Reeves quite often, and trust me, I was a better player.
Austin Reeves or Peyton Pritchard. That's a very close. That's a tight one. I would just go slightly Austin Reeves, but they're both quality.
Mm, I'm going Pritchard because I just think Pritchard has more to his game. If you actually watch the Celtics on a regular basis, this guy is scoring 28 points off the bench. Literally, bro, he's scoring off the bro. He to be a bench player and to be one of the top scorers in on a night, right? For the Celtics, bro, look at how deep the Celtics squad is. Like, it's better than most teams in the NBA. Real talk. And Pritchard scoring the most points on a given night. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Pritchard. And he has more to his game. He's defensive. He's very good defensively. He's very good. You know, he's I like the way he hustles as well, because his hustle play is very good. People don't look at it because people watch more of the Lakers, right? But if you actually watch the Celtics, go watch this guy. Like, watch Pritchard play, and then tell me that he can actually, like, he can give you more. I think if you're gonna build a team around somebody, you build around. I think if you want to start a team around somebody, you start around him as well. You can definitely start around him. Pritchard's a very good player, very good player. Imagine him being the starter on somebody else, on somebody else's team. Imagine him being a starter on another team. Like, let's say, for example, the Portland Trailblazers. Let's say, for example, maybe the Wizards. Something. This guy would probably hit 30, 40 points on most given nights. Real talk. But yeah, anyways, we've kind of derailed. But I'm going to go with the Warriors to win. I'm going with the Warriors to win. At home on Christmas Day, Curry versus LeBron. I think Curry's going to want to turn up. I'm going to go with the Warriors to win at home against the Lakers. Gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a tough game, but definitely we'll speak on that as well, because you know the Warriors at home on Christmas Day. Yeah, it's a California California matchup. Yeah, we'll see. I'm still gonna I'm gonna go with the Warriors to win. Suns Nuggets. Now this is interesting because both teams have kind of struggled this year. Both teams have kind of lost games when they should be winning. The Nuggets lost to the Blazers a couple of nights ago or something, and if you and Jokic is still dropping big numbers. Like, the guy is still, like, averaging multiple triple doubles every single night. Like, you just can't stop the guy. But and the Suns had a very good start to the season. Kevin Durant's been balling, and then Booker, obviously, but then now they just tailed off a little bit, haven't they? They've kind of tailed off. They've kind of tailed off a bit. The Suns are all the way in 11th, bro. In 11th. And the Nuggets are just about 5th. but the Nuggets, but the Nuggets record is just the Nuggets record is 15-11. I expected I expected the Nuggets to kind of dominate the West this season, but the OKC Thunder are doing that. But what are you saying? Because this is tough. This is gonna be a tough one to call.
Is Booker available?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Let me check. Oh no, he's out at the moment.
Hey, big up Coach's Corner, man. Thank you so much, bro. Real talk, man. Thank you for your support, my bro. Thank you every time, bro. And I'll definitely get you on for a show soon, man. Because you've been on my show once, and then we hadn't caught up ever since. So yeah, we'll definitely have to catch up soon, man. Big up, bro. Big up every single time, my G.
I think without Booker being available, I think the Nuggets will have too much for.
Is Bradley Beal
Phoenix.
available? Is Bradley Beal?
Yeah.
So if Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant step it up, then I think the Suns could win. Because let's not forget, the Blazers beat the Nuggets a couple nights ago, and like I'm shocked that even happened, bro. Like, how it happened? I checked the result. I'm like, how did the Blazers beat the Nuggets? Like by 2 points at home? Like that's crazy. I think it was like 116 to 114. I can't remember what the score was. Let me have a look. Not here. Hold on.
126 to 124.
Oh right. Okay. But that, yeah, I was 10 off of both. But yeah, it's crazy. Like how that even happened? I'll never know. I genuinely will never know. But yeah, bro. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna give him a prediction here. I don't really have much to talk about. Just Jokic is just an incredible player. Like just dropping triple doubles every single night, and Kevin Durant still balling out at this age, which is crazy to even think about because he's been through many injuries. He's been through tough injuries, and he's come back and he's done well for himself. And I like Kevin Durant. I like to see him do well, man. Big up to Kevin Durant every single time. Who I think will win the game? Do you know what? I'll go with the Suns home win.
What, Suns are home?
Yeah, Suns at home.
Oh, that makes a bit of a difference. Do
you know why? Because I don't know, the Suns need it more than the Nuggets. The Suns are 11th in the conference. They're gonna need it more. They're gonna want it more. They're gonna need it more because the Nuggets are easily gonna get the playoffs, and they're comfortably like a top 4 seed in the East. It's the West, right? But bro, like the Suns need this game. The Suns need to win this game, but they're down in records, and obviously they started off well and they tailed off, and now look where they are right now. Let me have a look actually where they are, like their overall, like, you know, sort of.
They're 11th. They're 11th in the West.
No, I know. But I want that. What's their regular season record? You know what I'm saying?
14-13. So they're just above 50. They're just above the.
Yeah, but they're still gonna need this more, man. Because being 11th at this point is not good. So
no, they've lost back-to-back games as well.
Yeah, so they're gonna need to win this game. They can't afford to lose this game. Obviously, you know, there's still a long season left to go. Obviously, there's still a long time. But like, if you actually look at it, right? Yeah, they're gonna need to win this game, man. I think they're gonna need to win this game, bro. What are you saying?
The way the West is, I think every team needs to win because it's very tight. If you look at Denver, right? If they lose, they go 15-12, and then let's say they lose even a couple, you can go from 5th all the way to where the Suns are very easily with 3 bad losses in a row. So I think in the West it's a very difficult situation. It's just about how you play on the day. But it's going to be hard for Phoenix without Devin Booker. If he's available, then it's going to make it a much more compelling game. Obviously, you know, Jokic is going to do his thing. You got Jamal Murray is going to do his thing. MPJ is a bit on and off when he decides. So it's just going to be about not the main guys. So you know what Durant's going to do. You know what Jokic is going to be the other guys. It's gonna have to be the other guys to show up and show out, and that's just gonna be the difference maker in terms of who wins. Because you know what you're gonna get from Durant, you know what you're gonna get from Beal, you know what you're gonna get from Murray and Jokic is gonna be the other guys that are gonna be the difference makers. So it'll be an interesting matchup to see if the third, fourth, fifth option shooters are getting up 10 to 15 each or getting the numbers they need. Because I think that's been the differences between the times both these teams have won and lost is not the main two, but the other dons, if they're showing up and showing out.
Yeah. No, yeah, I hear that completely, but I reckon the Suns gonna need this more. They're still gonna need this more, and I think they're gonna get the home win. They're gonna get the home win. What are you saying? You're going with the Nuggets still?
Yeah. Slightly Nuggets. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be very close. Just slightly Nuggets. Maybe like a couple points in it.
Nah, I hear that completely. Next, and last but not least, the last Christmas game. The Celtics against the Sixers at TD Garden in Boston on Christmas Day. Obviously, I'm a Celtics fan and the Kings a Sixers fan, so no better way to preview this game than today. I'll start off with my team, then I'll let you talk about your team, then I'll talk about your team, then you talk about my team. Is that okay? We'll talk. So I'll talk about my team first. Look, I was not happy with the way we played last week against Chicago. Like that was not promising. That was not impressive. That was not very, very, that was very upsetting the way we lost that game, because at the end of the day the referee kind of given them technical fouls, and they got free throws, and it kind of killed off our game. But at the same time, we still did not shoot very well. It does not hide over the fact that we did not shoot well that night. And to be honest with you, we bounced back well against Chicago a few days later. We bounced back well. And Jason Tatum dropping a triple-double. 40, 43, 16, like how many rebounds? 15 rebounds, 10 assists. Like, that is something like, I can't wrap my head around, because like that's the first. I don't know how many NBA players do this on a regular night. Jason Tatum does not often get triple doubles. He does not. He always gets subbed out before he gets the triple doubles. But the fact that he got the way he did it, how he got it, was very, very impressive. And I'll happily take the win. And obviously before that we played what you call it? We played the what's the name of the team again? We played the Wizards. We won that game quite comfortably. Before that, we also beat the Pistons. We got back-to-back wins last week, and then this week we also got two. We got a win and a loss. We played one. We played twice because of the NBA Cup. We hardly played, but then this week is going to be interesting. We've got the Magic tomorrow. We've got Sixers on Christmas Day. Indiana Pacers 2 days apart, but both at home, and then we've got the Toronto Raptors to start the new year. But to be fair with you, it'll still be 31st in America. So let's just call that to close out 2024. These are the final 5 games we've got, and I reckon it's only right now that we go on a run of games, and I reckon that this is where the Celtics start showing their dominance and their brilliance, and start getting back into the like we need to try and get 4 or 5 wins in a row. That'd be nice, and go into New Year with hope that this team can repeat back to back. And yeah, obviously, with the way we've been playing, I have a few concerns The Celtics take too many 3-pointers. That's my biggest issue. And when we miss them, we keep on taking 3-pointers, keep on taking. That's why Chicago won the game, because we did not take our shots properly. We kept on missing shots. We kept on chucking him up for no reason out of nowhere. That's what kind of really pissed me off. And I just feel like it's time to kind of stop being a bit stubborn and just try a new approach, because the 3 ball is not always going to work every single night. So I reckon this is gonna tonight against Orlando, we should try and win. But against the Sixers, saying if Joel Embiid's fit, is Joel Embiid fit? Is he ready for? Is he gonna be fit for the game?
I don't know if he's even gonna play that game because he's on and off. So I don't think it's a fitness issue. I just think it's a if he's gonna play issue. Let me check. I don't think he has an injury. No, he's not injured. He's just not gonna play one of the games.
Regardless if he plays or not, right? Like, we still need to try and go up against Joel Embiid and match up against him well. Try and put because I ain't being disrespectful here, but Al Horford, the way Al Horford defends against him is very, very, very nice, and trust me, I like it a lot. Like, Al Horford's toughness at this age is still, like, he's still kind of got it in him. But if you actually watch, like, the way Joel Embiid goes up against the Celtics, he's dropped up big numbers, right? He's played very, very well against the Celtics, but at the same time, kind of got unlucky with like recent results. Obviously, falling short, in the playoffs, but still, like, it's still gonna be a tough matchup either way. Sixers on Christmas Day, it's gonna be interesting. Last year we played the Lakers, got the win. This time we're playing at home, back in Boston, and hopefully we can get the win. But yeah, the floor is yours about the Sixers now, bro. What are you saying? What's your team looking at that day, and how do you approach the game?
In terms of the team, we had. It was an interesting week. It was a weird week. Because we had back-to-back wins against the. What was it again? I just lost my mind.
Hornets.
Yeah, the Hornets. The first game we blew them out. I think we were the better team by far. And then in the second game, it was frustrating. The second one, because I think in the fourth quarter, the rotations made by the coach, we blew them out in the first quarter. At one point, we were up by like 20 points, and then by the fourth quarter, it went down to single digits, and we nearly even lost the second game. There was a point where they were like 3-5 points away, and I thought we were gonna lose it, but we just held out. And that was with Embiid. And then against Cleveland without Embiid, we got blew out. So what I think is gonna happen is I think Embiid will play against the Spurs and will win that game. But I don't think he's gonna play against the Celtics, and I think we're gonna get blown out just like we did against Cleveland. So I'm thinking it's gonna be like a 140 to 99 kind of scoreline. I think we'll lose on Christmas Day to the Celtics badly. I think it's going to be a bad loss. And I think it's going to be indicative of what our team is with Embiid, we're a team that can beat anyone on a given day. And then without Embiid, it's just whatever happens, really. So, but that's the thing about Embiid, is that he can't play every game. He's very injury prone. You're kind of trying to maintain his minutes, maybe not let him travel as much. So it being on a away game as well, probably they don't want him to go to Boston. So it might be a thing of he plays against the Spurs and then not against Boston. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think we'll beat the Spurs and then lose to Boston. So I think on Christmas Day, the Celtics are going to win big, especially even with Embiid, I think we'll still lose because that's the thing. Because even with Embiid, I think his kryptonite has always been Al Horford. And I think if you look at the other pieces with Tatum, with Jalen Brown, with what they have on the bench as well, Pritchard and that ilk, I think the Celtics have too much for us as a team. We've lost Jared McCain, our rookie of the year. He's out for the season. Maxi is day to day, so it's hero there whether he's gonna play the next couple games, and then outside of that, you don't really have much in terms of you may get something from a Kelly Oubre, you may get something from the other guys, but it's not going to be enough to beat a team of the level of Celtics at their home. So I think we beat Spurs and then we lose and we get blown up by the Celtics just like we did against Cleveland. Cleveland destroyed us without Embiid, and I think that's the issue that when we don't play with Embiid, we don't have a center that's good enough because Drummond is okay, but he's way past his prime. So that's my feeling.
No, I hear that. I mean, obviously, the Celtics against the Sixers in the recent times have had the better of the Sixers, but the thing is that they're always going to be a tough matchup either way. Like, it's always going to be a tough game for me. The Sixers have not had a great season, but that's only a testament as to how the Sixers want their future to be like. It's kind of as if like the Sixers are kind of doing it on purpose because they kind of want to rebuild. Maybe there's been some issues with Joel Embiid behind the scenes we don't know. There's been some issues with like other players. We don't know what's going on really behind the scenes. It's kind of like this. Kind of like they're doing this on purpose. They're winning some games like they expected to win, but they're losing most of the games that I'm seeing. I'm not even being disrespectful to the Sixers here, obviously, but I'm just saying that they don't look like a serious team this season. Obviously, this game will test. If the Sixers win this game, then it'll definitely be like it's okay. Maybe you might turn your season around. But if the Celtics just win, it's. I don't even want to be disrespectful here. I'm just gonna say it's. I'm gonna arrogantly say it's a routine win for us. I'll just say it with arrogance because I don't even mean to be arrogant because bro, like it's kind of the norm for us. Like on a given day, like we just turn up against teams with their best players, and with teams missing their best players, we don't turn up against them. We always it's a trap game. So what I'm saying is, I reckon we'll win. I'm not gonna say it's a blowout win because I think the Sixers will definitely put up a performance. But what are you saying about Boston? But yeah, because I think we'll win the game. But I'm not been in the last few games. The performances have not been amazing. We've got by with wins, but still like the Celtics just. I think we'll come up with a win in this game anyways. What are you saying, bro? About the Celtics?
No, the Celtics should. I believe we're not going to play with Embiid in that game against the Celtics on Christmas Day. So if we don't do that, then I don't think so. I don't because we have a game against Spurs beforehand, and I think we're more likely to win that game. So I think if I'm the front office, I'm playing Embiid against Spurs, win that game, and then not play him against.
There are no games on the 24th. There are no games on the 24th. So it's not a back-to-back game.
Yeah, but even then, I think they're like that. I don't think they'd even with maybe he plays both. If he plays both, then we may have a chance. But I still think he even said it himself against the Celtics. It's not a rivalry. We always lose to them. So I don't think Embiid will make a difference. They always beat us. So I think I just think we beat Spurs and lose to Celtics.
That quote, from Joel Embiid. I'm sorry. Like, how do you just concede every single time? Like, come on, man. It's like, nah. Too good. We always use the Sixers fan on Twitter, but we always use it against them every single time we beat them. It's like not you, because you're actually a chill Sixers fan. You're not like one of those mouthy Sixers fans on Twitter. But what I'm saying is like those ones are the most mouthy ones. You know what I'm saying? So like so we always use that quote against them whenever we win, whenever we destroy them. But yeah, Sorry, continue what you're saying, bro.
But yeah, no, God, let's say Embiid plays all the games. I think we have a chance against Spurs, and then against Celtics. I just think you have too much for us. As I said, outside of Embiid and Maxi, you don't really have much in terms of the shooting. And I think if you're in a good shooting form in that game, you could blow us out very easily. Especially if Tatum shows up, if Jalen Brown shows up, if your bench unit shows out. And the thing about it is that I've said this season is the rotations that our coach puts our team in. We could be up by 20 and then down by 10 so easily just because of rotations and the way he does with the roster. And also Paul George hasn't been the greatest in some of the past games as well. He hasn't been at his firing best. So
Christmas Day is gonna want to turn up though.
he has to. I think he has to. But I just think I don't know. I really can't really tell with my team whether we're gonna be good or not. But it's just here nor there. So
Mm.
we,
No, I
we
hear that.
lost badly against Cleveland. We did before that went back to back, but we've lost too many games for me to honestly believe we can win multiple games in a row. So I think beat Spurs, lose to Celtics, and then go on from there and see what next. But I don't see us having a chance away in Boston. I don't really think it's gonna. I don't think it. It's one of the first seasons where I look at my team and think, yeah, no, like they're honestly a bad team at the moment, and I don't know if it's gonna turn around or not. And
No, I hear that.
I'm not sure if it's. I don't think it's on. I think it's as you said, it's a behind the scenes thing. I think there's been issues in the background, even with Maxi saying
Front
about
office.
Embiid being late for things, and even him saying I'm not doing back to backs and all these things culminate in a disgruntled team when you have your star player not there every week in week out because it's an 82. You need to be there for most of the games, but him even
Yeah.
saying I'm not doing back to backs, I'm not doing this and that like if you're one of the other guys, you're like, what's the point of him being here? It's a very similar situation to when Ben
Mm.
Simmons was refusing to play. It's
Mm.
like, what are you doing here? Like, you're meant to be the guy. Play like the guy. Don't be like saying,
And
"Oh, I can't do this and that."
also he's like, it's kind of like the egos got to his head because like
Mm,
he's won the MVP 2 years ago. Think he won the MVP 2 years ago, right? And to now turn up like this for the Sixers when they've given you everything that they can. Yes, they might not have been competitive in the playoffs. Yes, they might not have made the conference finals. But that's also on you. That's on you because you're a part of that team that's not that's kind of been a part of that. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of borrowed semifinals, first rounds. Like you've been there. When Ben Simmons is not there, you've been the one that was there. So Joel Embiid needs to turn up. He needs to turn up. He can't keep making these excuses. He can't be saying, I want to turn up on a night I choose. I turn up. I'm not gonna play seven. I'm not gonna play all games. I'm not gonna play back to backs. I'm gonna turn up late for training. That's not a player worthy staying on your team. If I'm being real, yeah. Good luck to anyone that trades for him, because I don't want, because for me I would never want to play like Joel Embiid on the Celtics, and that's not me saying he's a bad player. He's a great player, but his attitude stinks. His attitude stinks, and that's not a player you want on the Sixers, bro. I think you're better off playing Paul George and Tyrese Maxey together for the rest of the year and just dropping Joel Embiid. Real talk. I think you're better off doing that because them two at least can do something. Whereas Joel Embiid just not going to turn up. He's not gonna. He's only gonna turn up when he wants to, which is for me. There's no point. There's no point. There's just no point, man. And I honestly, I felt like this 2 years ago. I felt like this a few years ago when the Celtics were just like, when they weren't as great. Like, cause I remember when Ime Udoka first came. I remember he came off the back of a 500 season. That was when I was like, I felt the lowest support of the Celtics. But when we won games, when we started to click into gear, when we started to go on a mad run of games, and start dominating teams, start winning, everything has changed. I felt like, you know what, maybe Marcus Smart might be the problem. Maybe this and that might be the problem. We might have to break up with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. It's always questions about everyone's future. It's always questions about, you know, what's gonna happen next. You know, I kind of understand what you're feeling here because, and then the head coach as well, Brad Stevens. Obviously, his future was in the air, but now he's our GM, and now you're kind of 50-50 on the coach, are you? You're kind of like, you know, you're not sure about the coach as well. So yeah, no, I hear you completely, man. I hear you completely. And I'm gonna back my team to win. I'm gonna back the Celtics to win on Christmas Day in Boston. Yeah, and I reckon we'll just, you know, win the game. What are your thoughts on the Celtics so far this season, bro? And obviously, you know, going into this game, what are your final thoughts on the Celtics? You're mute, bro.
Oh, they've been quality this year. I don't think I still believe Cleveland will probably come out as the number one seed in the East, but I think the Celtics will come out the East in terms of getting to the NBA Finals. I just think they have too much talent. I think Jason Tatum is a guy that's an MVP candidate. I think you got a lot of defensive qualities, a lot of good players, and a really good coach as well. And yeah, it just depends on what's going to happen next. Really, it'll be interesting to see how you improve throughout the season. I think Cleveland look good, you look good. Obviously the Bucks are starting to pick up in the East, and the Knicks. So I think you've got those are probably the four teams you look at as the teams that are gonna be the ones fighting for to come out of the East. I think those four teams, maybe Orlando if Banchero comes back with their young squad, but I think Bucks, Celtics.
Mo Wagner's out for the rest of the season for the
Mad.
ACL injury.
Oh, mad.
So they have to wait. So they have to rely on Franz Wagner to come back. They have to rely on Paolo Banchero to come back. So tomorrow they're missing a lot of key players against the Celtics.
Okay, so it's going to be a bad one. Then yeah, I think yeah. So you're looking at Bucks, Knicks, Celtics, Cavaliers trying to come out the East, and I think yeah, Celtics have been, as I said, the third best team in terms of record, one of the best teams in the second best team in the East. So just been a quality team. I think overall, I think I like what they're doing. I like their coach, and yeah, I think they've got all the tools they need to go back to back titles, and that's really it. And yeah, I think it may happen. I think that it's got. I think they're the best team in the East, but they're not going to have the best record in the East, which it's not really here nor there for them. I don't think if I'm the Celtics, I'm about getting to the playoffs, whatever position, and dominating. That's what I'm thinking about. Because you've got your one chip, you need to get 2, 3. So it's more about dynasty rather than regular season.
Yeah, fact, bro. Yeah, it's always about you know, getting to the playoffs and doing well from there. Because we saw the Lakers 2 years ago. Yes, they were an 8th seed or 7th seed, but they still managed to go on a run and make the conference finals. But unfortunately, the Nuggets. Well, fortunately for me, because I don't like the Lakers, but the Nuggets swept them, and the Nuggets just have the Lakers number really in the last 2 years. They're 8-1 against the Lakers. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like seeding doesn't always matter, but at the same time, it's about confidence and it's about building you know, building confidence and building momentum. So that's what I'm saying. We need to use the regular season games to build momentum and then go on to the playoffs with hope that we can go back to back. So yeah, I'm gonna back the Celtics to win, and you're saying Celtics to win as well.
Yeah.
That's it for the Christmas fixtures. We'll talk about our teams. We'll preview our teams for the rest of the week, bro. So obviously, you know, you're a Sixers fan. We'll talk about, since we were just talking about the Celtics. We'll talk about the Celtics first. Magic versus Celtics.
Magic versus. I think you win that
in Orlando.
Yeah, you win. They've got a lot of Magic got a lot of injuries.
Yeah. Sixers, Celtics, and Boston. So we already predicted that. I went Celtics. You went Celtics. Celtics, Pacers at home. I'm gonna go with the Celtics again.
I think you still win that. Yeah, I don't think you lose next couple games. I don't think you lose.
And then,
To be honest.
and then, yeah. Sorry, continue. Sorry, continue. What you're saying
Yeah, I don't think you lose next couple games. That's what I'm saying.
Pacers again.
Yeah.
And
I think that's 4 wins in a row. Definitely. I think you start a run.
no, I hear that completely.
Yeah, if you're looking at your run, you don't have a challenge until you maybe hit Houston, so you can easily go 5, 6 wins in a row.
and then and then we've also got and to close out the year we've got Toronto. We'll talk about those games down the line. We'll talk about the Raptors. We'll talk about the Raptors game on that day. We'll talk about the Christmas, sorry, the post Christmas games and so on, everything in more depth. We'll talk about the Sixers now. Sixers Spurs. I'm gonna go with the Sixers to win.
Yeah, I think we win that. I think we win that game.
Oh, so we already predicted the Celtics Sixers game. Jazz Sixers in Utah, kind of tough.
It is a tough one.
I'll still edge the Sixers though, because the Jazz are just looking really off the pace. They're just not looking. They're not looking amazing right now.
Yeah, no, I think we beat Utah.
And then you got and then your last games against them. Yeah, we'll preview that next week. You've only got 3 games next. You've only got 3 games this week, and we'll talk about the Portland Trailblazers game next week. So yeah, that's it for today, I guess. I mean, we've spoken about teams that we've spoken about games that we want to talk about. Any other more games we talk about? We talk about the Lakers. Anything more? I mean, they got the Pistons today at home, and then they got the Warriors, and they got the Sacramento Kings, and that's it. That's the. So yeah, what are you saying?
I mean, there's a lot of games today. To be honest, well, the 23rd.
I think Lakers win today, and they beat Sacramento Kings, but they lose to the Warriors away.
Wait, who did I have for the? I think they win. I think they win a couple in a row.
You think they win all 3 games because
who did they have? They got what? Pistons, Warriors, and
yeah, Pistons, Warriors, and Sacramento Kings at home.
The Kings might be difficult. The Kings might be a difficult one.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna go with the Lakers to win that game.
Pistons, Warriors. I think when they win, I think they win the first 2 and lose to the Kings.
I hope you're right. Yeah, actually, I think they'll lose to the Kings as well. Fuck it, why not? If someone wants to predict the Lakers to lose, I'll join them. You know what I mean? I'll join them. But yeah, that's good for today. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Let's make sure you guys like and subscribe. We're approaching Christmas. We're approaching New Year, so that's our last NBA show before the Christmas. So obviously, Merry Christmas to all of you watching. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe. I want to get to 120 before the end of the year. There's only a week left, people. Like, you can easily help me get there. Sorry, I can't even talk, bro. I can't even talk sometimes. I stuttered so badly. Help get me there to 120 subs before the end of the year. That would be nice, because it's only a week and a half left before the new year, and yeah, in 2025 we'll definitely reach new heights. Hopefully we'll get to new heights. Hopefully we'll get to places that I want my channel to I want my channel to grow. I want my channel to to get to a point where maybe come next year, come next Christmas, I'm in a better position than I am today. Hopefully, we keep on growing, people. So make sure you guys, support the channel, support, King is definitely gonna start, his channel. So make sure you guys go subscribe to King. I've left this link in the title. And yeah, King, thank you for coming on, bro. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, man. And I hope you have a good Christmas. Hope you have a good rest of the week. And we'll definitely catch up again soon, because NBA, and we're talking about NBA, but the F1 season is ended, so we still haven't talked about our we still haven't done our how do you call it? We still haven't finished our the season review. So we'll definitely have to get that in somewhere.
Definitely.
yeah, we need to talk about that. And yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. Let them know what you got. Let them know coming up, bro.
I'll be on this channel talking NBA, F1, obviously. I've got some things that I want to put on my channel sooner. Obviously it's coming towards the end of the year. So happy holidays to everyone. If you're celebrating Christmas, happy for that. And then yeah, man, New Year coming soon as well. So winding up 2024. It was a good year. Hopefully 2025 is even better.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And hopefully you get there soon because I want to see you reach new heights as well. I want to see you reach 100 subs as well. And obviously, trust me, it's not gonna be easy, but I want you to get there. So please make sure you guys go subscribe to King, subscribe to myself, and we'll definitely do a lot more in the future because we'll definitely do a lot more shows next year. We're on it every single week, so we'll definitely be back. And to close out the year, we'll definitely do one more NBA show before the year ends, and maybe we'll do another like year NBA roundup or something like that. NBA roundup show of 2024 or something like that. So yeah, we'll definitely do something. And thank you for watching, people. Make sure you guys do what's required. Like, subscribe, and take care. Go Celtics. Good evening.